The Appliance. Solitary Confinement. February 29, 2010, in the Laboratory of Conceptual Art, called Las Palmas de Gran Canaria. The set of objects is called appliances. Better still, to the set of equipment we call the appliance. Its function is to stop the water flowing through it at the same temperature it was. At the bottom we have arranged a small refrigerator device 1 and upper heater device 2 with a pot on top. For them, we circulate water through a clear hose and powered by 2 electric pumps 2 machines. There will be 4 electrical mechanisms working in unison, consuming electricity as one and keeping the water at the same temperature it was when the unit began operating. Cold water, hot warm, not a metaphor for the means hot, and cold medium McLuhan, nothing to see. Speaking of Herbert Marshall McLuhan, the presentation of the work is an extension of the artist. How about pants, the shirt or car? For many, this presentation and the image, given to the other of itself, not the work, is all important. The luxurious finish that makes media and tell us how important the success, or the artist, issue or creator, which is integrated into the system, and so on. Money, luxury, spectacle, perfect system to cover up the mediocrity. Joseph Dewey's never need a perfect finish. The work, the delicacy in the finish, and presentation of the work is reserved for those who have nothing to say, nothing to contribute, and luxuriously repeated. The important thing is the work, is a media, of the idea, the expression of what the sender creator felt and wanted to get to the receivers. What is said may be important, the way of life, that says plenty. It's funny, but it's just what they want, the political commissars of postmodernity, the luxury traveler of the artists, who put them in the international art circuit, and end up forgetting they have something to say, something to contribute. In the device, its visual aesthetic response to the role. Really important to consider the formal aspects of the work, the realization of the generating idea. Even the formal aspects are important. Besides the appearance of the work, does not serve the northern economic hedonism. Stoicism serves the global tax, the work, the means of communication. The isolation between 2 individuals or 2 groups, with opposing views, repeating their own version of reality, to another not listening, and the other, of course. The disinformation that is a special kind of isolation, that is the information that pours one of the individuals, or group with knowledge of its falsity. Communication responds to the laws of dialectics. The struggle of information contrary, one of which transformative and contrary to prevailing opinion on the whole, is taking quantitative progress, and the general opinion, to reach a qualitative change, and imposing definitely. It responds to the same laws of dialectics, in nature and society. An unwritten rule, and clearly intended for journalists, is to address the readers, as if they have 14 years. The state of primary education, elementary and intellectually common to most, at that age. I do not remember where I read that the Egyptian priests went through a training period of 40 years. They would know all of the divine and the human, right? Perhaps the journalists are right. There is no Egyptian priests who understand your message to 100% and should be sent to the children readers, like potato emitter children alienable. And between these 2 types of receptors, the Egyptian priests and the child of 14 years, who are we? What training do we have? Do we understand fully the information that reaches us? Among both the deformed by training, specialized training and production, so-called professionals, who understand the information they receive from their specialty, to assimilate their information, are still 14 years. Take an example of training. Don Gilles Lipovetsky, 66 years of age, associate professor of philosophy at a university in France, a member of the examination board of the company, and consultant management progress association. He has done some analysis of the behavior of the middle-class North economic, emerged after World War II and disappearing at approximately the fall of Berlin Wall, and in a constant barrage of commercial advertising and misinformation through the media mass. Lipovetsky not know, or no interest in historical processes, only analyzes the historical moment, and the geographical space in front of their noses, accepts a phenomenon, positively simply because it exists. See social phenomena as a natural or spontaneous, never caused assistant professor. Your professor does not understand the schematic. Will he understand the text of this document, reflecting the global stoicism imposed after the demise of the USSR? This package of art is difficult to understand information for professionals in 14 years, playing a game MUTATUM and professional, called art, which attempts to change the rules every time you play. Speaking of one-way training, professionalism and postmodernity, in this month February MUTATUM appeared in 2010 as Innocent our co-receiver, to honor the memory of Clement Greenberg. Again, never before been so necessary, the appearance of a parallel world of art. The officer, yes I know, not the Reina Sofia, is purely commercial. Who cares? Galleries, curators, collectors and other aromatic herbs impose capitalist kitsch art. Hedonism, individualism. You really have discovered something new, postmodernists. Do you remember the 20s? There is an undercurrent of postmodernism, ideological, philosophical, very important, within the party founded by Pablo Iglesias, half hidden but not denied. Neither claim is simply not mention his name, postmodernism. The leaders of the PSOE, who entered his party just before 82, before Felipe Gonzalez to win the election, for the first time law of precariousness and neutralization of the unions, the kings of euphemism and political correctness, members of the Socialist Party, are you or postmodern? Speak ye not, be ashamed, members, and members of the public, with excellence. MUTATUM believe that solitary confinement need not be avoided, misinformation and alienation must be combated. Was not James Gordon Brown, Zapatero's colleague, who kept as a solution to the financial crisis that the state buy shares of banks in difficulty? But that little progressive, the state can control 51% of these shares. Underground from the Center of Modern Art CAM in Las Palmas will send James Mark's PSJM genes. Currently there is a direct relationship between economic and political power and the development permitted by the political commissars of art. Never before has there been a very tight control of creation. Never before has become so necessary to form a parallel world of art, parallel to the institutional world, and controlled art. ID art remains a perfect weapon against isolation, misinformation and alignment of receivers, a perfect weapon against postmodern censorship. MUTATUM commissioner stands in submitting their own work, and introduces in this way a parallel world of art versus the official world, and underground subway system in Spanish, of art. Why not propose directly to recipients? Why not go through the existing harshest criticism? Critics have proposed MUTATUM the same training as curators and postmodern sociologists. Unidirectional, predictive, encyclopedic, non-dialectical and schematic. All MUTATUM also somehow followers of the reigning neo-nomenclature of knowledge. Graduates in Google and doctorates in Wikipedia. Most MUTATUM not, the neo-nomenclature, remember? I give the system to obtain privileges. Curators and postmodernists, the fervent supporters of the nomenclature and nomenclature capitalism. The four mechanisms that maintain the water at home, consuming energy for this purpose, pure capitalism. The information that is heated and cooled continuously by holding the average neutralizing disinformation, pure capitalism.